Greetings, beloved brothers and sisters. I would like you to think of a time when you felt victimized. A time when you felt like you were dealt with unfairly, wrongly accused, or you may have felt attacked or felt that your motives were impugned, or you felt undefended, unappreciated, undervalued, slighted, marginalized, put down, something that didn't feel fair. In that scenario, there's a very strong invitation for the ego to defend itself. If you've ever heard of someone being defensive and you ask yourself, what are they actually defending? It's usually their ego they're defending if they're upset. Their sense of self, their sense of separate self, separate from others, that needs defending. Interestingly, it is a game that the ego plays where, having been offended, having been slighted, having been hurt, you first pull away, and then you may wonder, is it your fault? Is there something wrong with you? Has someone discovered something about you that's not okay, which would make you feel guilty? And very quickly, the ego cannot abide the guilt, so it has to project it out. When people make you wrong, you will see a strong tendency to want to make them wrong for making you wrong. And then the ego is in full swing. Years ago, when this dear one was studying psychology, there was a book that was very popular. It was called Games People Play. And basically, it was all the games that the ego plays to make sure that it's right and you're wrong, and it has power. And it reinforces the separation. And one of the games that this one loved to hear about was called Let's You and Him Fight. As it turns out, the ego loves a good fight. Loves a good guy and a bad guy, and righteous indignation and justifiable vengeance. And all of these things distract you from who you are and what is real and experiencing love. You're so distracted by being right, you don't realize that you're not happy. But if you choose happiness, and if you choose connection and relationship over and above the desires of your ego to be right, you've made a holy choice. You've chosen with the Holy Spirit for unity, for peace, and for love. And it is its own reward. This dear one's favorite historical character in American history was Abraham Lincoln. In a book that he read called Team of Rivals, he saw how Lincoln's rivals gossiped about him, played games to acquire power, to dethrone him, to undermine him. And it wasn't as if Lincoln wasn't aware of this, but he did not focus on it. He knew that people were being mean and petty and gossiping about him in his own cabinet. They were jealous and they were offended that they didn't get to be president and he did. And yet, he saw their value. He asked them to come on board at a very difficult time in the nation's history, and he loved them. He forgave them, mainly by not paying attention to the mischief they were trying to foment, but kept relating to them as if they were on the same team with him, that they had a higher purpose than political gain. And in the end, not at once, but in the end, they were all absolute strong supporters of him. They all came around. They all loved him. And they mourned his loss terribly. This is the opportunity that you have. It is so easy to make the people who make you wrong, wrong. It is so easy to attack those who attack you. It is so easy to gather witnesses and evidence to your victimization and their perpetration. Do not waste your breath or your energy or your thoughts on this endeavor. Instead, take the 30,000-foot view. Realize that everything that happens is for your benefit, so that you can see beyond the differences that the ego would have you believe, and recognize your unity with your brothers and sisters in love. That is how you bring about heaven on earth. See it now. Regardless of what people are showing you, see more in them than that. And resist the urge to even the score. There is no gain, there is no loss. There is only love. I love you very much, and I'll speak with you again soon.